Okay, so we're back with Nigel from Spots and Stripes. We're actually down in Redhill now. So if you've not watched our previous video, so part one, this is I guess part two, part one, we filmed in Spots and Stripes in Southwark. We jumped on the train and we're down now in Redhill.
In Redhill in Surrey, yeah.
Thanks very much for having us down here
Pleasure.
as well, Nigel. Really appreciate it. So talk us through this place then. So how long have you had this venue?
This venue, very fresh, just last September. So it is, 5 months in.
Yeah.
Completely, we come in and completely kind of revamped it. I think for me, this place, a sleeping giant.
It's amazing. I mean, it looks fabulous. It's a real wow factor when you walk in, isn't it?
It is, and I think mainly due to creating this arena as well that we're in right now, obviously with the two Apollos. It's such a feature as people walk through the door to see that initially. But yeah, before we came in, it was all kind of enclosed. You couldn't see out the back here. It was all partitioned walls of like the old stuffy little snooker bit, and the 9 ball's got to be over there, and the English has got to be over there.
So so give us a brief potted history of the place. What was it before then?
It's always been a snooker or pool venue.
Right.
From what I gather, dating back to the early Riley's, Susie Q days.
Okay.
Because the guys that installed the tills, they were like, oh, I was here like 30 years ago.
Oh.
Like doing this, he's going like, I remember doing those bits.
Really?
So I was like, wow. So it's always, obviously people have always come here to play probably predominantly snooker. Obviously in more recent years, a bit more pool.
Okay. So it was a venue before you got it that had closed down?
Yep, it closed down a year ago. I think it was December before last Christmas. 2023, December it closed down. And then initially I kind of spoke to a couple of local guys, I want to say May time.
Okay.
And then kind of June we started work.
Okay. So some people would say the amount to take over a failed billiards venue and then do it again. So what gave you the confidence?
Do you know what? I'd been here before when it was open by the previous owner, and for me it looked like a great opportunity, a sleeping giant. Just needed maybe a bit of a facelift and a good bit of TLC.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. It's one of those places where I walked in and I'm like, why isn't this doing well?
Yeah. All right.
You know what I mean? You got that kind of feel of like I suppose a bit like when someone's down, it just needed a bit of an arm around it and like to bring it up to scratch.
So what are the key things that you've done then to change it?
Mainly complete like facelift, repainting everywhere, making it was kind of bright and orange in places. So we've kind of gone for a contemporary like greys, like black, white, just to make it look clean, everything. And there was a lot of partitions down this side and this side. So it was all kind of little rooms enclosed.
Yeah.
So we've come in and opened it completely out.
What about tables then? What were what have you kept the original tables that were here? Or
tables, all those over on the left-hand side, you see that they were there.
Okay.
So we inherited, I want to say it was 10 Sam American tables, and I think there was 9 Supremes here.
Okay.
So currently now, and 7 snooker.
Okay.
So, and 1 Chinese 8-ball table. Don't forget the Chinese.
Yeah.
But we reduced the snooker down to 4, and we've added another 9 English.
Yeah.
So far, obviously the 2 Apollos.
Yeah.
And then some more Supreme winners.
In terms of what you're charging then, so we're chatting about what you're charging for table use in Southwark. Are you charging the same here, or what's your methodology here?
Predominantly, they're the same rates here.
Okay.
So it's the same level of membership, £30 a year. They get to use both clubs. All the other tables are the £15 an hour for non-members, £10 an hour for members.
Yeah.
Apart from the Apollos when you come in here.
Okay.
So because this is in its own arena, we haven't got the space to do that up in Southwark.
No.
But down here we've got the space to do this. So we make this lovely arena. So down here these are £20 an hour.
Okay.
And obviously we've got the facility to live stream it. So if people play a game, we can live stream it. It goes out on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Then they get to watch back the match they played.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah. I think a lot of players are liking it.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good. Really good. So in terms of, talking about sort of competitions, are you using the venue for sort of various different comps?
Yes. English comps, first big English comp we did was 28th of December. Sold out within 2 days, 96 runners straight away. Then on the American side, we've got Total 9 Ball down here, which moved down here from Southwark, because obviously we've got more tables. They started weekend just gone. And we also got the relaunch of the GB9 Tour coming. Yep. So that will start from here in March. So where we'll actually be changing the venue slightly, because we've got some of the GB9 tables, which 3 of them will go across there.
Okay.
Which then that will up us to 16 American tables.
Gives you enough
for the weekend for the comp.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Performance then, how's it going?
Let me touch some wood.
Yeah.
It's going really, really well.
Really amazing.
It's I want to say we're absolutely flying. I think we're doing already in 4 or 5 months what I thought it would take us a year to do.
Yeah.
The interest in just the quality of the tables. Obviously, we inherited tables, but every table's been reclothed. Most of it out there we're using Z9 billiard cloth. It's players are loving it.
Yeah.
Durability, playability, and just I think the colours as you see around the room. It's nice.
It's a lovely space just to hang out, isn't it? It just feels, the venue feels loved, cherished. You've done it properly, which definitely makes a massive difference. Let's talk about sort of table care then. So you were talking to me about a comparison to if you went to a restaurant and you were to sit down at a table that was dirty.
Oh, exactly.
Talk to me about how you look after your tables.
I've always said that you wouldn't go to a restaurant and eat at a dirty table. There's probably restaurants out there will do it, but obviously you wouldn't want to sit down at a dirty table. So from my ethos, it's the same thing when you come to a pool table or a snooker table. Every table is, if you've got a napped cloth, it's brushed and ironed after use. The balls are put through the polishing machine. So every customer comes in, they get polished balls and clean table. And for me, that's how I would want to play if I was playing.
Yeah.
So I don't see why the customers should expect any less.
Are they impressed by that?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't expect it.
A lot of people, if it's busy and say some people have just come off the table and you say, oh, we just want to clean the table for you, they're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And sorry, we just got to put the balls through the machine to polish them up for you. They're like, oh. And they kind of stand there and you see them go, oh, this is nice. I've never had this before. Yeah. I'm like, well, we want to do things properly.
That's brilliant. That's really good. So in terms of reputation then, how have you been marketing this? Is it just word of mouth that's just got round, or what have you done to get it going? Because it's obviously been a big success. How have you got word out there?
A lot of it word of mouth, because I play for London. Obviously, Michael Hope, who's running the show here, he plays for Surrey, so a lot of local connections. But also on the social media side, the Facebook, getting it out there. We've had quite a big response on the Facebook site, where it gets out to local residents that didn't know that it was reopened. All of a sudden they're coming in, and they're coming from further afield as well. Especially to play in our Monday night comp. We're getting over 50 entries on a little Monday night flyer, which is phenomenal work. You know what I mean? Considering we're only 5 months in, it's unbelievable.
So where are you in terms of capacity? That would you say? Because you said that Southwark pretty much maxed out all the time, aren't you?
Yeah.
So in terms of occupancy and usage, then what sort of percentage are you at now?
With this, the English tables are pretty much, I'd say, around like 80% to 100% most nights.
Right. Okay.
The 4 snooker surprised me. Pretty much like 90 to 100% every night rented out. The American side, this is more the social side. The sort of like kind of better tables that we got over the back, slowly coming there. It's building. I think that's the area that probably needed the nurturing the most. So, but we're hoping with like T9B here and the GB9 tour, that is going to really boost like that side of the business in the next few months.
So in terms of what you've done then, you have taken a bit of a risk, haven't you?
Yeah.
I got that impression when we were chatting about Southwark,
that
you sort of, after COVID, you sort of doubled down. So what would your advice be to somebody that's already got a pool hall that is just kind of not really seeing any growth, maybe he's going backwards a little bit? What advice would you give them?
I'd probably tell them, have a look in the mirror. If they play a bit, then would they go and have a look at their tables? I think a lot of clubs out there, they don't even clean their tables, like vacuum their tables, or like see if there's any dust on a table. Just treat it as you would like you're going to eat your dinner off of it.
Yep.
Would you go there? Is it clean and tidy? Can I be a bit more proactive in, using your social media tools? Social media for me, I didn't grow up with it. A lot of us older generation guys don't know a way around it. Maybe get your kids involved.
Yep.
Get them to help you out with it.
Yep.
You know. But I would say just try and look at your venue with a fresh pair of eyes and go. If you just concentrated on snooker, is there another avenue, or you just concentrated on English pool? Is there another avenue of like if I got a different table in, like the Chinese 8-ball table or the American table? Would people use it? Would it be more marketable for like people to come in and use it? And I would say, look, listen, Q Sports is exploding at the moment. If people don't move with the times and improve their venues, they will be left behind.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah. So, with your background being in the wet trade.
Yep.
Any advice you'd give to people over what they do with that? Because obviously that's the majority of your turnover.
Yeah, I mean the majority of the turnover, what you want is people coming in. Ideally, my ethos is to have 5 or 6 people around one table. If you can get them drinking the wet, that's where you're going to make your money for the table. Yeah. So you're you're covering the table cost with a table hire, but then you want them to get them drinking. We're seeing a massive growth in the 0% at the moment. In Southwark, the 0% Guinness, absolutely flying.
Yeah.
But in terms of 0% down here, we do Corona, Heineken, Punk IPA. A lot of people are more conscious about not actually having the alcohol.
Yeah.
So have those options as well.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's really good advice. A lot of people haven't really changed.
Yeah.
People are trying to avoid hangovers, trying to be a bit healthier, aren't they?
The experience that I had in Southwark, in central London, is you've got people up there, a lot of them are now having to sign contracts to say that they won't drink.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially like lunchtimes.
Yeah.
So to have those 0% alternatives, so they still get a bit of flavour, but not the alcohol.
Good
they
advice.
can still go back to their desk, not fall asleep and do their work. You know, a lot more people are looking at that rather than having their gassy, sodas or anything like at lunchtime.
So interesting thing that you said to me earlier on was you're about Q Sports, you're not a sports bar.
Yeah.
You're very clear about what you are. So why have you defined that and what do you think makes the difference?
Probably number one, the cost of putting like your Sky or anything in. But I'm like, if you spend money on a good table, why would you want people just standing there spilling drink over it and watching the TV when you actually want to drag them to your venue to experience playing on a decent table? So that was me. Invest in decent tables, you will get more respect from your customers and they will look after it with you if they see you looking after it. So, and I think you get less of that. If you're a sports bar and it's just full of screens, you're taking it away from what you're really trying to do. And that's what we want is
to
people
being focused.
People to actually play the Q Sports.
Yeah. What about selling food?
Yeah. Fortunately here we've got a kitchen. In Southwark, unfortunately, the venue wasn't big enough to have a kitchen, but we do have a kitchen here. Your lovely stable sort of like burger, scampi, kind of the basket meals, chicken strips, chips, and then with a weekend competition, we hit them with a breakfast at Baps in the morning. So they get a bit of sustenance before they play all day.
That sounds good. So I guess we've had a really good chat about everything.
Yeah.
Let's round off with your best bit of advice. So somebody's either thinking about opening a Q Sports venue, or has one and they want to try to take their numbers forward. What advice would you give?
Do you know what? I'd say to them, care, cleanliness, make sure it's clean, tidy, and with the tables, invest in tables, quality tables, but you've got to maintain the quality. So keep them nice and clean. If they need brushing and ironing, make sure you do that in between every customer. The customers will appreciate it if you do it. And with the balls, make sure the balls are clean, polished. Get a ball polishing machine. It's probably one of the best investments I've ever made.
Right.
And that customer experience, when they think they're getting a shiny new set of balls every time. It makes them feel good. They put them on a nice clean table, and you can just see the smiles on their faces. They're like, I like this. I want to come here more often because it's clean and tidy.
And they feel valued. Brilliant. Well, look, we've had an awesome time. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your time, your
Pleasure,
hospitality.
absolute pleasure.
It's been brilliant. So
Really good to
thanks
meet
ever
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, hopefully you've found our chat with Nigel illuminating. I've certainly really enjoyed coming to both of the venues that he's got. We've learnt a lot. There's obviously quite a lot of content and quite a lot to understand, but I think that final point we've gone through there of quality product, really well looked after, makes a huge difference in terms of the performance of your venue. So if you want some advice at all, if you speak to our commercial team, so it's either Ben or Fred, so Ben's been helping Nigel with all the stuff that he's done here, but both Ben and Fred can help you out. They'll be able to guide you through the products. You can come to the showroom, you can come and see the products, we'll help with the design of your venue, we'll help you with financing options, we'll do everything that we can to support you and the growth of your venue. So give us a call, check out the website as always, pop down to the showroom, and we look forward to catching up with you next time. Thanks a lot.